Hey YouTubers, today I am going to be talking about Elijah McCoy, who was born in Canada to parents who had been enslaved in the United States. The family resettled in Michigan a few years later after Elijah was born. Elijah McCoy was an inventor. He invented a version of the automatic lubricator for steam engines. He was born on May the 2nd, 1844 in Colchester, Essex, Canada. He died October 10th, 1929 in Eloise. His resting place is Detroit Memorial Park, East in Warren, Michigan. He had two marriages, one with Mary Eleanor Delaney between 1873 and 1922. And a second marriage to Anne Elizabeth Stewart between 1868 and 1872. McCoy was born free in Canada and came to the United States as a young child. When his parents returned in 1847, he became a U.S. citizen and resident. YouTubers, you have to wonder why his parents returned to the United States after they escaped slavery. Both of them were enslaved, and after Elijah was born, they returned to the United States. So let's continue with the story. Elijah McCoy was born free in 1844 in Canada because his parents, George and Mildred McCoy, escaped slavery and they were on the run. They were fugitives, and so they escaped to Canada via help from the Underground Railroad. They arrived in Colchester Township, Essex, Upper Canada in 1837. Elijah McCoy had 11 siblings, 10 of whom were born in Canada. Elijah McCoy was educated in black schools in Colchester Township due to the 1850 Common School Act, which segregated the upper Canadian schools in Scotland. When he was 15 years old in 1859, Elijah's parents sent him to Scotland. After some years, he was certified in Scotland as a mechanical engineer. When Elijah McCoy arrived in Michigan, he could find work only as a fireman, an oiler at the Michigan Central Railroad. In a home-based mechanic shop, McCoy also did some highly skilled work, such as developing and improving inventions. He invented an automatic lubricator for oiling the steam engines of locomotives and ships, improvement in lubricators for steam engines, and his patent was in 1872. And the patent number is 129843. There were similar automotive patents previously by other inventors. However, McCoy continued to refine his patent invention that allowed trains to run faster and more profitable with less need to stop for lubrication and maintenance. He continued to refine his devices and over several years designed new ones. Most of his patents dealt with lubricating systems. After the turn of the century, he attracted notice among his black counterparts. Booker T. Washington at that time wrote that McCoy produced more patents than any other inventor at that time. His creativity gives McCoy an honor status in the black community that has persisted to this day, where the real McCoy is a coined phrase. He continued to invent until late in his life, obtaining as many as 57 patents, most of them related to lubrication. Other inventions, to name a few, were a folding ironing board and a lawn sprinkler. Lacking the capital with which to manufacture his lubricators in large numbers, he usually assigned his patent rights to his employers or sold them to inventors. So he did not have enough capital to produce these things in large numbers. So what he did was sold away his rights. He would sell the inventions to either his employer or some other company. And unfortunately, that is the story of Black folks here in America. A lot of things were invented by Black people, but because we lack the necessary resources to take it to the next level of putting it commercially in a large space, we usually sell away the rights to these products. So although he was inventing products in the 18th century, it was not until the 1920s, near the end of his career, when he formed the Elijah McCoy Manufacturing Company to produce his products. Now, prior to this time, his name was not on any of his products that he invented, because remember, he had sold the rights away. Although he was not given the proper notoriety at the time for his inventions, historians have credited him with contribution to the field of lubrication and credited him with revolutionizing the railroad or machine industries with his devices, because remember, the machines and the railroad needed lubrication, and due to his improved lubrication inventions, they were able to run more efficient. Elijah McCoy died in Elois Infirmary in Nanking Township, now Westland, Michigan, on October the 10th, 1929, at the age of 85, after suffering injuries from a car accident 7 years earlier, in which his wife Mary died. He's buried in the Detroit Memorial Park East in Warren, Michigan. So before Elijah McCoy patented his automatic lubricating device in 1872, engines had to be stopped before they apply the lubrication. But Elijah McCoy's invention, it allowed engines to keep running while the engine was lubricating. So the name The Real McCoy came about because his inventions and improvements of lubricating devices were so good that the locomotive factories, shipyards, and machinery factories were using his lubricating inventions, and his reputation had spread. And the users of these heavy equipment, like a railroad car or a shipyard, they were tired of buying these cheap substitutes, and as a result, whenever they went to buy their products, they would always ask for the real McCoy. So they wanted McCoy's products, and the phrase was coined, and everyone started to ask for the real McCoy, a phrase that still exists today. In recent years, McCoy's legacy was honored when he was inducted into the National Inventors Hall of Fame, and when a patent office in Detroit was named after him. So YouTubers, remember that name. Elijah McCoy, inventor of the lubricating devices that are used on railroad cars as well as steam ships and steam engines. YouTubers, I'm over and out. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel in today's video by pressing the subscribe button on the YouTube page before leaving. Thank you.